Let's talk about living in the present. Living in the present is basically just you being conscious, being fully connected and aware of your surroundings. Once you learn to live in the present, life just seems a little easier. It's almost like nothing can catch you by surprise. You can almost manifest instantly. And since you're always so aware of what's going on, it's like you already know what's finna happen before it happens. And once you start living in the present, your memory gets better too. Because of course you're always aware of everything that's going on. In order to fully live in the present, you gotta understand that time doesn't exist. It's just an illusion. So you gotta stop worrying about the past and the future so much and live in the present. Right now is the only thing that's real. What you doing right now? Scrolling on TikTok, right? Guarantee you could be doing something to better yourself. So why aren't you doing it? Like, what's stopping you? You worried you might end up failing? Or have you failed in the past and now you scared to try it again? Dwelling on the past and worry about the future don't do nothing but hold you back. You gotta live for right now and make every moment positive. Maybe you need to do some shadow work for those past traumas. Accept the situation for what it is. Don't blame yourself. Start meditating. This will help you learn to be the observer of your thoughts and pay attention to what's around you. Life Part 2.
The past and the future does not actually exist in the real world. It only exists in the mind. Let me explain. Here's a simple timeline. Currently, we're in 2021. The future would be 2031. Say you went into a time machine and traveled to 2031. Would you now be living in the future? No. Because you're in 2031, you'd actually just be living in the present. And 2021 would just be the past. We are always living in the present. So where even is the past and the future in reality? Well, what if what you think you know as the future is just dependent on your imagination, and what you think you know of as the past is just your memory? In that case, the timeline would just look like this. These two are just products of the mind, and only in our present moment do we perceive our physical reality. This may be one of the most important things you ever hear, but why? And that's because how you view your entire life right now is dependent on what you decided to remember in the past and what you're deciding to envision in your future. And these two is what creates your physical reality. It's all dependent on your mindset. And in this series, we're changing the lens in which you view the world.
There is no good and bad in the universe. There is only neutrality. And neutrality needs both to reestablish the creation once and again. In duality, we have this law, which is everything is evolving all the time. Nothing is stable. Nothing is always the same. The only constant in the universe is that everything is unconstant, that everything is moving and transforming itself. So we believed as humans that if we are stable, we are good. We have a good job, we have good partners, we have a good life, so I'm stable. But that's illness. When you get stabilized in your life, suddenly something happens that pushes you outside your comfortable life, so you can find a.
This is the biggest trick that the ego plays on us to keep us trapped. The ego's job is to convince you that you are just you, not the big you as in universe, but rather it wants you to believe you are just the name your parents gave you, your body, and the stories that you play in your head all day. And the worst story that it uses to keep you trapped is victimization. Your ego will say, they stole my car, he cheated on me, they made me feel bad. Really all it's saying is that they are them and not you. The truth is that anything done to you or done to them is done to you because you are them and they are you. The part of us that thinks they are them and we are us is the ego, and it's lying to us. It uses victimization as its biggest tool, its biggest trick, to think that you are not everything. Whatever they do to you is for you. This is love.
Go outside and set a timer for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. This is the amount of time it takes light to go from the surface of the sun to Earth. During this time, do a box breathing method of 4 seconds on the inhale, 4 seconds hold at the top, 4 seconds on the exhale, and 4 seconds hold at the bottom, and repeat. When time's up, the sunlight that left the sun when you started is now hitting your face, and you are feeling just a little more relaxed.
Satisfaction comes from one place and one place only, and that is moving in the direction of who you really are, moving in the direction of your desire. That's the only place it comes from.
Watch how the mind reacts when someone you don't like comes around. There is no power that is affecting you. All that has happened is another person has entered your sensory space and the mind can't stand it. This is a great opportunity for you to grow by seeing that external sources don't have inherent power over your peace, the underlying peace. Before, you allowed people that annoyed you to stir up your entire being, but now it's just on the surface. And so your mind may react, but you are watching it react. And so you preserve your peace.
There is nothing dead in the universe because there is no death in the universe. Everything is alive. The universe is alive. That is why the earth is alive and you are alive. The aliveness is everywhere. Every atom is alive. Everything is consciousness. Therefore, not only water, every molecule, every atom has the memory. If you understand this, then you are going beyond the science. You're going beyond the physics. Because you cannot measure the play of consciousness by the science and physics, because the science and physics exist within the mind. Without the mind, there is no science and there is no physics. But yet, there is consciousness prior to mind, prior to physics, prior to science, anything you can name it. So, there is no tool we have been invented yet to grasp the consciousness. Neither the consciousness can be grasped. Humanity is trying, doing all kind of things, stupid things, to try to capture the consciousness, but they don't realize the fact that the one who has been captured cannot be captured. We are already captured by the consciousness.
And people going about their business every day, serious, I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna make this thing. And they're quite mad. They don't realize that now is it. That's where it's all going, as well as where it all comes from.